The first blow, the arrogance of predators. The Velcor Dominion prided themselves on cruelty refined into art. When their fleets descended upon the small Terran colony of Lyranine, it wasn't out of necessity, it was for spectacle. The Dominion Chancellor broadcast the attack live across the galactic networks. Their battleships hovered like iron mountains over the green world, casting shadows that stretched for miles. On the surface, human families scrambled for cover, their signals for aid drowned in static. The Chancellor's voice dripped with mockery. Earth breeds like vermin. Today we cleanse the stars. Missiles rained. Cities burned. The colony's envoy, sent unarmed to parley, was executed on a public feed, his last words cut short by plasma fire. In orbit, civilian transports fleeing for safety were swatted from the void like flies. The Velcor laughed, and the galaxy watching whispered agreement. Humanity is too young, too fragile, too civilized to answer this insult. The mockery, confidence without fear. The Dominion's admirals feasted on their victory, toasting under chandeliers of bone and steel. They spoke freely. Earth had no claws. Humanity's fleets, though growing, were scattered, primitive. Their leaders would be cautious, restrained. They would write speeches of condemnation, not declarations of war. Other species nodded in approval. Humanity was clever, yes, but cleverness could not match firepower, could not erase the image of Lyranine's ashes drifting in the void. The galaxy laughed with the Velcor. And somewhere, one man stopped laughing forever. The father's silence. Commander Elias Draven watched the feeds in silence. His daughter, Mara, had lived on Lyranine. She was 12. When the bombardment struck, her last message, a fragmentary recording, reached him through static. "Dad, the sky is burning." Then nothing. For days, Draven searched. No registry logs, no refugee ship lists, no confirmation of survival. His grief did not scream, it calcified. In that silence, a vow formed. If the Dominion had stolen his daughter, he would build her a world where she could never be taken again. If the Dominion had killed her, he would make sure they knew what it meant to take a child of Earth. He began to build, not just a weapon, not just a fleet, but a world. The World Forge, born of obsession. Hidden in the dark between systems, Draven commandeered forgotten shipyards and exiled engineers. He spoke little, only showing Mara's broken message. Men and women of Earth worked until their hands bled, for they understood. This was no longer a father's grief alone. It was humanity's vengeance distilled into iron. They forged a construct the size of a moon, a hollowed planet clothed in armor, powered by suns stolen from dying stars. Within it, hangar bays vast enough to berth entire fleets, foundries that breathed out dreadnoughts like sparks, silos that sang with annihilation fire. And at its heart, a chamber carved like a child's bedroom, small, quiet, untouched, a shrine to Mara, a reminder that this colossus existed for one purpose, because a father couldn't find his daughter. The workers called it Genesis Bastion, but the galaxy would remember it by another name, the World of Vengeance. The silence breaks. The Velcor celebrated a year after Lyranine's destruction. Certain Earth had forgotten. That day, the stars themselves dimmed. First came the silence. Comms across Dominion sectors went dark, not jammed but smothered, as though the void itself swallowed sound. Then came the warnings, whispered through channels thought private. Your crimes are remembered. Lyranine is not forgotten. Earth does not forgive. Out of the dark marched fleets, dreadnoughts bearing no insignia, only the mark of a single name, Mara. Their arrival blotted suns, eclipsing light. Civilian worlds screamed for mercy. Admirals who had laughed now tasted terror. And then the bastion itself emerged, an entire world moving with intent, its surface unfolding like a machine god, releasing storms of fire. The galaxy realized in that moment, retaliation was not coming. It had already arrived. VI Fire made flesh, humanity's retribution. The Velcor armadas stood to fight. They were vast, cruel, disciplined. But humanity's answer was not discipline. It was wrath sharpened into inevitability. Wave after wave of Terran dreadnoughts unleashed torrents of annihilation beams, scything through Dominion carriers as though they were paper lanterns. Swarms of human strike craft poured forth like locusts, weaving firestorms that shredded defenses. On the ground, shock divisions landed with thunder. Soldiers moved like storms, armored in black steel that turned plasma to harmless sparks. They advanced with silence, faces hidden, banners marked only with one word: never again. Entire Velcor worlds burned. Cities fell in minutes. Oceans boiled as kinetic rods fell from orbit, each strike rewriting landscapes in fire. For every colony erased, 10 Dominion strongholds vanished in smoke. The galaxy watched in horror. Humanity did not ask for surrender. They did not ask for parley. They asked for nothing, only payment in blood. VII, the breaking of the Dominion. Weeks turned to months, but the war was no war. It was a dismantling, piece by piece, of everything the Velcor had built. Their proud fleets became drifting wreckage. Their grand citadels cracked like eggs beneath orbital fire. The Chancellor who had laughed over Lyranine was dragged from his palace, his final words drowned beneath the silence of a Terran Marine's rifle. In the void, whispers spread. Humanity had become something beyond empire, beyond vengeance. They were architects of annihilation, and their cathedral was a world built from grief. The bastion moved on, leaving behind only ash. VII, aftermath, the weight of silence. When the fires dimmed, the galaxy trembled. The Velcor Dominion existed no more. Entire star sectors were graveyards. Survivors of other species whispered to one another, too afraid to speak aloud. Never provoke Earth again. And deep within Genesis Bastion, Commander Draven sat alone in the quiet chamber. A child's bed, a hollow toy frozen mid-laughter, the faint static of a voice that would never return. "Dad, the sky is burning." He closed his eyes. He had built her a world, vast enough to terrify galaxies, strong enough to avenge her memory. But the silence in that room was louder than any victory. Humanity had shown patience beyond measure, but the galaxy now understood. When patience ends, Earth's vengeance is infinite.